they're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us, I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much.
What if a sitting US president could just accept a $400 million gift from a foreign country? And not some little trinket, but a flying palace, one of the most luxurious private jets ever built. This isn't a script from a political thriller. It's a story that's unfolding right now, and it's pushing the US towards a full-blown constitutional crisis. We're going to break down how a Boeing 747-8, a gift from Qatar to Donald Trump, has become the center of a firestorm.
The royal family of Qatar is preparing to give President Trump a super luxury Boeing jet to serve as the new Air Force One.
So the Trump administration is preparing to accept a luxury jet from the royal family of Qatar in what may be the most valuable gift ever given to the United States.
This deal, struck without any approval from Congress, is raising huge questions about foreign influence, conflicts of interest at the highest level, and who exactly is going to pay the price for this so-called gift.
Have you ever been given a gift worth millions of dollars and then not received anything?
It's not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense.
Section 1, the gift, a palace in the sky. So in May of 2025, the Trump administration officially accepted a jaw-dropping gift from Qatar, a customized Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet. This isn't your average plane. It was part of the Qatari royal family's private fleet, often described as a palace in the sky. A new one is valued at around $400 million, making it easily the most expensive single gift a foreign power has ever given the US government. The Pentagon confirmed the deal, stating the Department of Defense would handle the jet's transition. Here's the backstory. President Trump has been very publicly annoyed with Boeing over delays in getting the next generation of Air Force One jets, which aren't expected until 2027 or 2028. He's defending the Qatar deal as a smart, money-saving move. On his Truth Social platform, Trump wrote, "Why should our military, and therefore our taxpayers, be forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars when they can get it for free from a country that wants to reward us for a job well done?" He's brushed off concerns, telling reporters it would be stupid to turn down such a nice gesture. But this nice gesture is anything but simple. It's kicked off a political and legal brawl that gets to the very heart of the Constitution. And at the center of it is a clause written for this exact kind of situation, to stop a president from being bought or bribed by foreign powers. Section 2, the constitutional crisis, the Emoluments Clause. To get why this is such a big deal, we have to talk about the Foreign Emoluments Clause. It's right there in Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution, and the language is crystal clear. No one holding a federal office can, without the consent of the Congress, accept any kind of gift, payment, or title from any king, prince, or foreign state. The whole point is to prevent corruption and foreign influence. The Founding Fathers had just fought a war to get away from a foreign king, so they were pretty paranoid about foreign governments trying to buy favor with American leaders. The clause sets up a really simple rule. If the president wants a gift, he has to ask Congress first. Congress, representing the people, gets to decide if the gift is in the nation's best interest. And we have a perfect example of how this is supposed to work: the Statue of Liberty. When France offered Lady Liberty as a gift, Congress passed a resolution in 1877 to formally accept it. That's the constitutional way you do it. The Trump administration did the exact opposite. It accepted the jet without even asking Congress for permission. Critics on both sides of the aisle are saying this isn't some clever loophole. It's a flat-out violation of the Constitution. Democrats have already nicknamed the plane Bribe Force One, calling it a threat to national security and a blatant case of corruption. So how is the administration even trying to defend this? Well, their justification comes from a legal memo, and the source of that memo is the most shocking part of this whole story. Section 3, the legal defense and the glaring conflict of interest. According to reports, the White House is leaning on a Department of Justice memo that supposedly gives the deal a green light. The memo's argument seems to be that because the plane is a gift to the US government and not to Trump personally, it gets around the Emoluments Clause. But the credibility of that defense is completely undermined by one massive fact. The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, has a history of working for the very same government that's giving the gift. Before she became the 87th Attorney General in February 2025, Bondi was a registered foreign lobbyist for, you guessed it, Qatar. Records show the lobbying firm she worked for, Ballard Partners, was paid handsomely by the Qatari government for work she was personally involved in. Think about what that means. The top law enforcement officer in the country, the person providing the legal cover for the president to accept a $400 million gift, was recently on the payroll of the country giving it. Critics are calling this an unforgivable conflict of interest. How can Americans trust that the DOJ's legal advice is impartial? During her confirmation hearings, Bondi promised to recuse herself from matters that posed a conflict. Yet on one of the biggest foreign deals of the administration, she reportedly provided the legal justification. This has sparked outrage from all corners. Section 4, the bipartisan backlash. The pushback against this deal has been fast, furious, and surprisingly bipartisan. While Democrats are leading the charge, a number of Republicans and even some of the president's usual allies are sounding the alarm. In the House, Judiciary Committee Democrats, led by Representative Jamie Raskin, have launched a formal investigation. They've sent letters to Attorney General Bondi and the White House demanding to see the legal memos that supposedly approve the jet. Raskin said that any memo justifying the deal would obviously fly in the face of the text of the Constitution's Foreign Emoluments Clause. The reaction in the Senate has been just as intense. Senator Richard Blumenthal announced he's working on a resolution to authorize a lawsuit to force the administration to follow the Constitution, calling the deal a form of self-enriching, lawless thuggery. Then Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer threatened to block all Justice Department nominees until the White House came clean and Bondi testified about her role. On the Senate floor, Schumer declared, "This is not just naked corruption. It's the kind of thing that even Putin would give a double take." Even some of Trump's staunchest supporters are uneasy. Far-right activist Laura Loomer called the deal a stain on the administration, pointing to Qatar's history of funding groups hostile to U.S. interests. The fact that criticism is coming from both sides shows this isn't just politics, it's about fundamental principles of law and national security. Section 5, National Security Risks and Taxpayer Costs. President Trump is trying to sell this as a free airplane, a fantastic deal for the taxpayer. But in reality, this gift could end up costing us a fortune and creating serious national security risks. Here's the problem. A commercial luxury jet is not Air Force One. The real Air Force One planes are flying command centers, hardened to survive a nuclear blast and packed with top-secret communication gear and missile defense systems. Turning this Qatari jet into a plane that meets those standards will be an enormous and wildly expensive job. While the plane itself was free, the overhaul isn't. Estimates for the retrofitting run into the hundreds of millions of dollars and could potentially climb higher. And who pays for that? We do. The American taxpayer. Watchdog groups are already demanding investigations into reports that the Defense Department is diverting funds from other critical defense programs to help pay for the retrofitting. If that's true, it means money for national security is being rerouted to customize a luxury jet from a foreign monarchy. Beyond the cost, security experts are alarmed. How can U.S. intelligence ever be 100% sure a plane from a foreign government is clean of hidden surveillance devices or other vulnerabilities? Tearing the plane down to its bones and rebuilding it is a monumental task, full of risks you wouldn't have with a plane built from scratch under U.S. supervision. The idea that this is a free plane is a dangerous illusion. Section 6. The end game. A private jet for a public library? Now, here's the most audacious part of the entire deal. What's supposed to happen to the plane after Trump leaves office? According to multiple reports, the plan is for the jet, after its service as the temporary Air Force One, to be transferred to Trump's private Presidential Library Foundation. This changes everything. If that happens, a $400 million asset from a foreign government, upgraded with potentially $1 billion of U.S. taxpayer money, would effectively become the private property of an organization run by Donald Trump and his family. It takes what was defended as a gift to the U.S. government and turns it into an unprecedented personal inheritance for an ex-president. Representative Jamie Raskin put it perfectly. A gift you use for 4 years and then deposit in your library is still a gift and a grift. The legal acrobatics needed to justify this are mind-boggling. The administration says it's a gift to the government, but the endgame sure looks like private ownership. It makes you wonder if the whole thing was an elaborate scheme to get around the Emoluments Clause and put a priceless asset directly in Trump's hands, all behind the flimsy excuse of a gift to the nation. This story is far from over. Investigations are just getting started, and the constitutional fight has just begun. It's more important than ever that we demand transparency and hold our leaders accountable to the Constitution. If you think this kind of deep dive analysis is important, please consider subscribing and sharing this video. It helps us keep doing this work. And let me know in the comments what you think. Is this a smart deal for America or a constitutional crisis in the making? Conclusion. So let's just recap. We have a $400 million flying palace from a foreign nation, accepted by a president without congressional approval, which is required by the Constitution. The legal defense for this deal is reportedly coming from an attorney general who used to be a paid lobbyist for that same country. This free gift will actually cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars to upgrade and comes with a whole host of national security headaches. And the cherry on top? The plan is to eventually hand this taxpayer-funded, foreign-gifted jet over to the president's private foundation. This is more than just another political scandal, it's a direct challenge to the rule of law. The Emoluments Clause was written for this exact moment, to stop a president from being bought. By ignoring it, the administration is testing the very limits of its power. This whole saga isn't just about a fancy plane, it's about what the American presidency is supposed to be. An office of public trust, or a vehicle for private gain? The answer will say a lot about the health of our republic.